Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Insert the music here. Insert the music here. All right, it is 8 o'clock. Welcome to Merriwether's World, episode 60. Whoa, 60 hours of me babbling to what I hope is not an imaginary audience, but I do see Carrie Built on the Rock Homestead is here. Awesome, awesome. Be sure to shout out whenever you join. Trying something new here, broadcasting on YouTube, but hopefully also on Facebook. Cool. So it looks like I'm on Facebook. I'm on both. Ah, awesome, awesome. Hey, Uncommon Bees and Kathleen and Sandra and Raven Whitehorse. Cool, cool, cool. And I can actually see who's here from YouTube and who's here from Facebook. Neat. Okay, so what's going on is something really spectacular. I'm using a new streaming service called StreamYard. Hey, hello, Kathy from Belton. Oh, I miss Belton. Belton is a beautiful little town with a big city flair. Yeah, so I'm trying StreamYard.com, and you notice I'm streaming on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. That required getting the $25 a month version of it. Hey, Brendan, man, haven't seen you in a long time. I was starting to worry. But yeah, so I didn't have to pay for it because Wazoo Survival, woo, Wazoo Survival, likes me so much that they are paying for this service to stream to you across multiple things. Hey, Tim. Hey, Charles. Tim Jing. Your name sounds familiar. Toss up where you took the classes from me. I'm wondering if it's out at the Montgomery County Nature Preserve. Wondering how good my memory is. Oh, cool, Bonnie, you're making the Boy Scout cleavers. Oh man, it's a little late in the year. If you're in Texas, they might end up being a little tough there, Bonnie. Probably it's better when they're short and small, like 5 inches long. Okay, cool. So people are showing up. People are showing up from YouTube. People are showing up from Facebook. This seems to be working. I will tell you, up until about 3 minutes ago, I was just about ready to smash my computer through the wall because it was fighting me every step of the way. It's a terrible computer. I'm really, really, really frustrated with it. But that's okay. Hey, that and the Arboretum. Cool. All right. Neat. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, JB. Hey, Butajama. Hey, Aileen. Hello, Aileen. 90s. Okay. All right. Enough of that. So as usual, let's start. Like I said, my name is Dr. Mark Merriwether, Vorderbruggen. I'm your host of Merriwether's World. I am author of Idiot's Guide Foraging. See, there's my name right there in the bottom. Co-creator of the Wazoo Survival Bandana with Nicole Appelian. I had to get her name right. I've been spelling or pronouncing it wrong all these years. But Wazoo Survival, Nicole Appelian, and I created this amazing bandana together. So just another reason to love Wazoo Survival, not just because they're bringing me to you live, but because they make all this sort of cool gear. So, but wait, there's more. Some more sponsors. No, where is it? There's it. Okay. We got the herbs from Ricardo Shilly. There's Herbal Shop up in East Texas. Uncommon Bees, which unfortunately I've been sucking their honey down big time because they have like the echinacea blend and the elderberry blend, and so I've been using those to make sure my immune system is up and running. The FDA does not. There's an FDA warning I'm supposed to give. Crap. Basically, that the FDA does not support the claims of elderberry and echinacea, but 2,000 years people, or actually way more than, more like probably 7,000 years. Anyway, hey, Mark Gibbs. Hey, Dion. Hey, Roma, Mike Olson, and John Mark. Good to see you. Hey, Wade. Facebook and YouTube. Hey, Wade, if you get on, if there's a difference between the Facebook, stream and the YouTube stream, let me know. Okay. Of course, other sponsors, the Outdoor Campcraft, maker of fine old school bushcraft gear here in the United States. Hand sewn, hand waxed canvas gear. Awesome if you don't like dragging a bunch of plastic out into the woods with you. So let me just put up links to all my sponsors because that's really, really important. Oh yeah, and also Fear and Dread shop out in Vidor also is, why are you not, okay, what, just a minute, come on, you can do this. What, okay, there seems to be a limit on the length of posts, so let's do this. We'll do most of them, and then hey, Fear and Dread, you get your own post. So Fear and what are you doing? Why are you doing the spinny beach ball of doom? Because I don't have a computer worthy of you all. Okay, so there you go. Those are the the companies that keep me afloat. Most of them have coupon codes that you can use if you buy them. Please check them out. Please use the coupon codes so they know they're actually doing good there, helping me out. Okay, some other good news, because things are looking pretty good, relatively speaking, in the world. We got 2 plant classes coming up. So on May 17th at the Houston Arboretum here in Houston, we'll be doing the 4-hour plant walkabout. And then on June 20th at Deer Lake Lodge and Spa up in Montgomery, Texas, another 4-hour walkabout. Both of these are excellent places for these foraging walks. Okay, any other housekeeping stuff? That's the majority of it. So just a quick check here. Lots of people here. Cool. An error. Okay. So still running into technical issues. Hey, Wazoo Survival, love you. But I'm still, we'll see. Maybe this will work. Let me try this. I'm gonna put that there, hit that, hit paste. Come on, you can do it. I know you can. No, you can't. An error occurred. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Anyway, that's okay. So that's why I'm begging for help with the new computer, because I just don't have the memory and the hard drive space and all that needed to actually do stuff here. Oh well. So it looks like maybe, I don't know. Let me show this. What happens to, okay, uncommon, what the hell is this? Okay, we're just going to ignore that. Hopefully these comments are showing up. It looks like they're being altered. Okay. Technical difficulties, please stand by while I try something else, because you never give in, you just try something else. So first, okay, the posts are showing up. Okay, all right. Oh, Amber Alert just posted on the phone. Excellent. There are kids around you for Amber Alert? Anyway, okay, all right. People are saying the posts are showing up, so we will continue on. Hey, last man Holkett, Chris Holkett, right? Hey, Rocky. Yeah, so 2 choices there, Rocky. I guess technically the Deer Lake Lodge would be an hour closer to you than the Houston Arboretum, but they're both good. Okay, cool. Hey, Sherry, you got the book. You like it? Awesome. Whoa, I get like a horn here. Okay. Inhale, exhale. Let's do this. So now that I got all that stuff out of the way, let's talk about why you are here tonight. You are here to learn about poison ivy. Woo, terrified shriek noise. Yeah. So I actually have a love-hate relationship with poison ivy, because from a plant chemistry point of view, it's absolutely fascinating. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But on the other hand, contact with it, if you're the type that's allergic to it, makes your life miserable very, 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 a lot. Okay, so let's talk about poison ivy. So I want to start, we'll talk about the identification of poison ivy. We will talk about the chemistry, what's going on, how is poison ivy doing what it's doing. From there, then we will move into the prevention of getting it to begin with, certain things you can try and do to prevent getting the problem. If you fail in that and you do get the poison ivy, some ways of treating it. And then finally, eradication, how to get rid of it. It's not easy, but depending on how much you're trying to get rid of, there are some ways that work. Okay, Tina, I'm so confused watching you on YouTube and Facebook and listening to you on my phone. Just pick one. Just pick one. There's such a thing as too much Merriwether. Definitely too much of a thing. Okay. All right. So let's get in. Let me see here if this will work. Ta-da! Yes, yes. Okay. One thing that Zoom wasn't doing that StreamYard seems to be doing. So here, I don't know if you can see this. This is my iMac photo library. I actually have 59 different pictures of poison ivy and different features of poison ivy. And so I picked this one here as one of the first ones to walk you through identification. Okay, can you see my mouse? Okay, good, good. See the little movie? Let's do this. Whoops. Let me just go one step further. I don't know. Do you want me? I'll stick around because I thought maybe it'd make the scene slightly bigger, but no, it doesn't. Okay, so you've heard leaves of 3, let it be. So that is one of the key things. You will see a vine with little 3 leaf clusters. So like, I don't know if you can see it here. So let me zoom in a little more. So there's this vine coming up, and then it has a leaf coming off it. This is a leaf with 3 leaflets. So this is what's called a compound leaf. If you looked at the leaflets here, if you were brave enough to like peek in and push things apart, you would see that the leaflets join smoothly with this this part of the stem here, the petal. Whereas if you then followed it down, and unfortunately there's a pine needle here, if you followed this stem down to the main stem, you would see there's actually a line there. So that's basically the trick to telling if a leaf is simple, where it's just one leaflet, or where it's compound, where it has multiple leaflets. Imagine my head as another hand. Okay, so leaves of 3, let it be. That's the first thing. So now, but there are some more structural features that will help you determine, is it poison ivy or some harmless mimic or something like that. So leaves of 3, and if you look at this, I love this picture because it's an absolutely perfect example of the structural features you need to identify this. So 3 leaflets. The center leaflet is symmetrical. If you look at it, it has this center vein that runs down the center of the leaf, and either side of it are about the same thickness, same width, and the same gaps. So it's a very, very symmetrical leaf. So that center leaf, very, very, very symmetrical. Now, if you look at the 2 side leaves, they got thumbs and they're asymmetrical. So you're always going to see on the side leaves, we got okay, yeah. So you have a vein, the main vein going through here, but it's not centered. There's going to be a thick side and a thin side to the vein. So you see what I'm doing here? The thin side on one side of this central vein, and then a thick side on the other. That thin side is always going to be facing the center symmetrical leaf. So it's going to be thin towards the center, and then pointing away, it's going to be thick. Now, in addition to being thick away from the center symmetrical leaf, you often, but not always, will get these thumbs or teeth sticking out the far side too. So it's going to be a doubly asymmetric leaflet, where the overall leaf, the center vein is not centered. It's off-centered, being closer to the central symmetrical leaf. And then the edge shape of the 2 sides is going to be different. Usually with the upper side, there may be thumbs or teeth or some other structural feature. Can I do this? You know, I need thumbs. Yeah. So you're going to get this thing going on here where the side leaves kind of mitten shape with thumbs pointing away from the center symmetrical leaf. Is this making sense? You cannot see your hands. Okay. Yeah, especially if you're watching on a phone or something like that. Can you see the cursor, the hand here? Is that showing up for your all's video? I hope so. So symmetrical center leaf, same thickness on either side of the center vein. Asymmetrical top leaves, where you have the center vein thin towards the center symmetrical leaflet, and thick, often with thumbs pointing away from the center symmetrical leaf. Okay. On iPad. Okay, good. So you can see your thing. So what I tell people, look for the angel of doom. To me, it kind of has an angelic shape. It has the flowing robes and the lovely wings, but it's not one of the good angels. It's one of the fallen angels. Okay. Cool. Julie, you're on a pixel book. I don't know anything about them. So, okay, cool. All right. So that is one feature we're looking for. The other thing is the phrase, hairy is scary. So, well, it doesn't show up well here. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I got a better, well, that's probably as good I got. But if you see a vine clinging to a tree, a fence, a wall, a tractor, some other immobile object with lots of little hairs clinging to the surface, that is probably poison ivy or one of the really close relatives. Especially if you got the three leaves. Here you can see, again, we have the center symmetric leaf. And the two asymmetric side leaves, there's no thumb on this, but there's a definite thickness difference with the thin side being towards the center symmetric leaf and the thick side away from the vine. But yeah, hairy is scary. Hairy is scary. If you got hairy vines clinging to a tree, a fence, something like that, probably poison ivy. So, and then one more thing. Oh, okay. Another thing, the color red. In the fall, the leaves turn a beautiful red color. Up in the woodlands, there is one of the neighborhoods, it's called Red Vine, because when the builders went in there and started building it, there were all these beautiful red vines in the woods that they were clearing out. And so they thought, yeah, red vine, let's call this Red Vine. They didn't realize that whole section was just absolutely covered in poison ivy. And I believe the homeowners are still fighting it to this day. But still, you got the leaflets here, the three leaves. Let me zoom in a little more on this and pull this over here. Again, symmetrical center leaf to asymmetrical side leaves with a bit thinner towards the center symmetric. Lots of hairy vines. I don't know if you can see this. There's lots of hairs clinging the vine to the trees. Hairy is scary. Leaves a three, let it be. Avenging angel of doom. Okay. One more picture. The berries. So these are young, unripe berries. They grow in these kind of clustery things. I mean, it's a cluster. So you'll have a stalk, almost like grapes. Where you have a stalk, and then that stalk will branch off, and the branches off that stalk will be covered with berries. When the berries are mature, they are going to be white in color. That's one of the reasons why they're really in the wide world of foraging. There are no rules, just some very, very loose guidelines. But one of those loose guidelines is don't eat white berries, because the most common white berry you're going to find in the wild is going to be the berries of poison ivy. So something to keep in mind. You don't want to eat poison ivy. Poison ivy of the intestines sucks. Don't ask me how I know. Okay. Yeah. Virginia creeper, the hairs are much thicker. Virginia creeper, ooh, you know what? This is working. So let me see if I can just quickly pull up Virginia creeper. The other big difference with Virginia creeper, oops, there's a good one. Come on, come on. Okay, kind of hard. So Virginia creeper, it does climb things. If you look closely at it, you would see that it has little hairs clinging to the surface. But the main thing is Virginia creeper has 5 leaves rather than 3. Maybe when it's really young, the youngest ones kind of have 3 leaves, but they quickly form 5. If it has 5 leaves, it's Virginia creeper, which is a native plant. Okay, so identification. Oops, I guess I should go back to poison. Come on. Okay, spinny beach ball of doom. Okay, there we go. See all. Just randomly pick one here. Okay, so here we go. Poison ivy, leaves of 3, let it be. Center symmetric leaf. Asymmetric side leaves with a thin side towards the center symmetric leaf. Wide part pointing away, and usually with thumbs. Let me just zoom in a little more here. So center symmetric, asymmetric side leaflets, thumbs, not always thumbs, but it's definitely going to have a thin side and a thick side. Okay, so just a quick check of questions here. All right, looks like people are following along. Cool, this seems to be working. That's a relief, because like I said, I think I was like almost in need of a sedative, like, wow, 20 minutes ago when I was fighting everything getting a... Okay, serious lag on Facebook. Those of you on YouTube, is there a lag there? Or is it just Facebook? I don't know. Okay, so now we kind of know, oh, where do you find it? Damn near everywhere. Generally, a poison ivy does seem to prefer shady areas and also wet areas. The chances of finding it out in the open sun in a field is small, but not 0. But the deeper into the woods you go, or along border areas where the soil can be turned up, is where it will really be thick. But yeah, kind of like open lots, yeah, yards, people's trees, their flower beds, all that sort of thing. So yeah. BJ, yeah, evil force that won't go away, hence the fallen angel aspects to it. Okay, so like I said, that's why I hate it. But let's talk about the chemistry, because as a chemist, I find that pretty fascinating. So let's talk now just what is it about poison ivy that's causing the problems. And the issue is a particular class of chemicals called urushiol. Urushiol. Urushiols. We'll go with urushiols. And these are big oily molecules. So you can see here, this is a chemistry, a way a chemist would draw out the structure. So you have the base, what's called a benzene ring. Whoops, I need here. So a base that we have 6 carbons. Each one of these joints of this hexagon is actually a carbon, but chemists don't write those carbons in if they don't have to, because we're lazy. And then the lines are bonds. There's single bonds, there's double bonds. O is oxygen, H is hydrogen. But then you have a bunch of carbons in a long chain. So you'll have 7 carbons in a chain here. And then you'll get some that are connected by a double bond, and then some more double bond, and they can be cis trans. But long story short, you have this benzene ring with a really, really long collection of carbons and hydrogens, and there are some different structures. So it could be this one with this carbon chain, or it could have this carbon chain, or actually it will have a mixture of all these, where you have a mixture of these different carbon chains. The take-home message, one of the main take-home messages by seeing the structure, is it is a big oily molecule. Think of it as oil, like canola oil or motor grease. It does not play well with water. It separates out from water. If you try and just rinse it off with water, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay clung to your skin. So just rinsing it off with water, not going to do anything. So when we talk about prevention, I'll talk more about how to get it off your skin. But now I want to talk about what's actually going on with this molecule. So it has a really, really neat feature about its structure. And to talk about it first, I need to talk about your cells in your body. So my hand is just any, and let's call it a skin cell. So it's part of your skin cell. So you got my hand, and it is one of your multitude of skin cells. Now, your immune system, it's constantly setting out scouts, going around checking to see if there's any non-you cell things inside your body that should not be there. So it's sniffing around. Think of it like a dog sniffing, are you friend or foe? Are you friend or foe? And so all your cells, they have marker proteins on the surface. And the purpose of this protein is so the immune system dog can go, oh, 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 I know you, you're me. Okay, you're good, cool, continue on and check it out. So these marker proteins are just the way, they're like a friend indicator. They tell the immune system that this particular cell is part of you and leave it alone. So like I said, the immune system comes, the scout goes, yep, you're me, and continues on. So that's great. So that's how your immune system can tell you from bacterial infections and viral infections and so forth, because those bacteria and viruses don't have those identifying proteins. But now we have urushiol. And so this molecule is floating around. It gets on the skin, and then it does something really weird. It goes and it clings to that protein, the specific marker protein that tells your body, the immune system, that it's friend or foe. So now when you got the watchdog immune system molecule goes, wait, this is not me. This is some evil creature and must be destroyed. And so it starts attacking the hand and the cells. So that's what's going on. The urushiol molecules cling and cover those identifying proteins of the human body. Wherever these things come in contact and can get to, they'll bind onto it, masking your own cells from the friend side of your immune system. So now your immune system sees it as an invader and treats it as an infection. And so it suddenly starts attacking the cell as an infection. Well, this happens enough times, it triggers a huge uncontrollable immune response, which is an allergy. So yes, John Mark, you are right. The whole end result, if you react to poison ivy, if you get blisters or anything like that, that is because you have developed an allergy to it, and your body just freaks out when it comes in contact to these cells with the urushiol on it, and just mounts an all-out war on it. So yes, it's an allergic reaction. A couple of things about this. The first thing to keep in mind, then, a lot of people say, oh, I'm immune to poison ivy. It doesn't affect me. Look, I'm going to roll around in poison ivy. Okay, that's great. But every time you do it, you're rolling those dice, and your body may finally decide, wait, that's an immune, an invader. So is this similar response to a blackberry allergy? It's really a similar response, Mark, to any sort of allergy. Oh, hey, Paul, my brother Paul is here. I was hoping you would show up, Paul. Do you recognize this finger puppet? Paul, my brother Paul, gave this to me as a Christmas present back when I was college. And for years, it rode around in the pocket of my leather jacket as in case I needed access to a monster to release on someone. And I've had it now for damn near 30 years, Paul. So yeah. So I'm glad you showed up. I picked this particular, well, it does a great representation of urushiol, but also because I thought you'd be here and it'd be cool to show you I still have it. Anyway, okay, sorry for that digression. So yeah, every time you come in contact with these oils, you are rolling the dice that you are going to get the allergic reaction. So just because you're allergic today does not mean if you encounter it again, you're not going to develop a allergic reaction. So even if you are not allergic to poison ivy, you should not be playing around with poison ivy because, like I said, you're rolling those dice, and you may end up, with snake eyes, and suddenly, bang, you're allergic to poison ivy. So just something to keep in mind there. The good, I've never seen an episode of Good Eats. I've constantly been recommended to watch it, but yeah, rawr, I like finger puppets. Okay. Whoops. The thing is, I can't work the mouse with it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Come back. Okay, so, whoops, I wanted to go here. And actually, I completely lost my train of thought. Okay, yes, Mark, I'll get to Technu in a moment here. Oh, okay, I remember now what I also wanted to say about those molecules. Okay, big oily molecules, they're actually fairly resistant to fire, but they do evaporate before they start breaking down. So what this means is if you start burning wood that is wrapped in poison ivy vines, these molecules are going to vaporize into the air, cling to the smoke. If you inhale it, you are now going to give yourself poison ivy of the lungs and the throat and the eyes and everywhere else. So that's happened so many times. I've heard from people where they burnt some wood. It was like wintertime. The poison ivy was dead. The leaves weren't there, but this chemical is all through the plant. It's in the leaves, it's in the vines, it's in the berries, the stems, the little hairs, all that sort of thing. So even the act of burning the wood in the winter when the vine is dead can still release clouds of the urushiol. Which then if you breathe in, you can end up getting a reaction to. So bad stuff, but it allowed me to share my finger puppet with Paul. So I will say that this whole thing was like 90% just so I could show the puppet to Paul. Okay. So that's the basic chemistry. It's this mixture of oils that just regular soap and water do nothing to remove. So let's talk about some more on the prevention. Okay, cis and trans bonds. Ooh, do I have a piece of paper here? Yes. Okay, because Julie asked about cis and trans bonds, I'm just going to sketch this out. Bear with me. Okay. Oops, if you can see this. So a trans bond, so if you think of this as flat, you got a double bond, and then the attaching the shrubbery. The R groups, that's like a continuation of the molecules. Oops, so R group and R group. Those are going to be kitty corner or cattywampus to each other. So opposite sides of the bond, whereas the cis, oh yeah, Julie. Okay. So the cis, the extra shrubbery is going to be on the same side. So trans, cattywampus, cis together on the same side. So just cis trans there. And that simple change in the structure can actually have huge effects on how it interacts with proteins in the body. Okay. All right, I need a sip of water here. So, and the other thing is the system, the body. It's been so long since I had the biochemistry. The body can break down. I think it can break down. Yeah, it can break down the cis bonds, and biodegrade the molecule of the cis bonds slightly quicker than it couldn't do the trans, because on the cis bonds things can come in from the top here and get to it, whereas on the trans this bond is blocked a little more by what we call steric hindrance. shrubbery in the way. So the more cysts you have, the quicker it is for the body to eventually break down and get rid of this molecule. Okay, so big, greasy, oily molecules don't remove by soap and water. So you want to, the first thing is just avoid touching the plant, touching the leaves, touching the vine, breathing the smoke. You want to be aware, be able to train your eyes to see it, and from there, just avoid touching it. So, but let's say now you've touched it, you probably have some of that oil on your skin. It doesn't react immediately. First thing you got to remember, and I'm going to bring up just me. Oops, again. Remember, the surface of your skin is a bunch of dead skin cells. You're basically leather on the outside, fine Corinthian leather if you're from Corinth, which is actually an imaginary place. But yeah, you are encased in leather, encased in dead skin cells. And so the urushiol has to eventually penetrate through those and get down to where the living cells are, where the immune system is seeking out and all this sort of thing. So protective gear, gloves, long sleeve clothing, long pants, things to, protect your skin from coming in contact with the poison ivy. That's step one, personal protection gear. Right now everyone's into masks. If you plan on sticking your face into the poison ivy, yeah, you'd probably want a mask on. But gloves to prevent the stuff from getting to your skin. Now, if you don't want to be out in the woods wearing, gloves all the time, you want to make sure your skin doesn't have any tiny cracks. So you want to moisturize well before going out in the woods. So you want to make sure your skin is nice and limber and not filled with dried cracks. So you want to have that. I'm going to make a shout out now. And even though I no longer work for Workman's Friend Barrier Skin Cream, this stuff is amazing. Absolutely amazing. What it does is you apply it to your skin. It has several healing herbs that help heal any dry, cracked skin. So it moisturizes, it heals. But it also, on top of your fine Corinthian leather, it puts down a nano layer of silicone. So it basically, it's like the leather treatment. So this layer of silicone, yes, Workman's Friend help. It helps prevent the oils from getting in. So the oils, they just lay on top of the silicone. They can't penetrate through and get into the skin. So at that point, you can still wipe it off fairly easily with some sort of, if you wanted to use like a gasoline soaked rag, because you do need something to dissolve the oil, to remove it from your silicone coated skin. So again, just like a wet wipe or something isn't going to work, but at least you're preventing it from getting through that layer. The Workman's Friend Barrier Skin Cream, the protection lasts about 4 hours. And like I said, I no longer get anything from the company. They said someday they'll take me out to lunch. We'll see. I don't know if Amber, if you are watching tonight. Hi, Amber, miss you. Amber was my boss. Yeah, so here's a link where you can get it on Amazon. So, I mean, it's just a white cream. Whoops, can we put it on there? Yep. And you rub it in and give it all over, and it disappears, but you can't see it. But you need to give it about 3 or 4 minutes to bond to the dead skin. Then the silicone will bond to it and leave it on there. And after that, after 5 minutes, you can wash your hands in water, and that will stay there. The silicone will stay there. If you washed with like a pumice soap, you might scrape some off. But naturally, it just needs the natural exfoliation of your skin. You're constantly dropping off dead skin cells. And so we found after about 4 hours, you have lost enough of the dead skin cells that had the silicone bound to it that you no longer get protection. Okay, spec 2006. How long does the oil stay on gloves or other surfaces? Pretty much forever, until you wash it somehow with a detergent that will remove oils. because that's really the cure, or the trick is you need like some sort of mechanic soap, Fast Joe, what's a Gojo or Fast Orange. Fell's Napa soap used to contain mineral spirits, but they changed it. So once the Fell's Napa took the mineral spirits out of their soap, it stopped being useful for poison ivy. So the Fell's Napa soap used to work 50 years ago, 40 years ago, does not work anymore. Okay, so I do need to make another shout out. Chris Martin, you mentioned, yeah, so the pumice. That helps scrape the urushiol oil off the skin. You still need, like something like Fast Orange or Gojo or one of those. The Technu, and actually the Technu is really good. So let's talk about poison ivy removal of the oil. So there's two products. And I will say the Technu is specifically designed to dissolve the urushiol oils. I mean, that was the whole goal, was to specifically come up with a detergent solution that will remove those specific oils. So that works really great. And then, of course, the Workman's Friend hand cleaner, which this actually, I don't know if you can see it here. Will it focus? Yeah. So not only does it have activated charcoal, the activated charcoal will help absorb the urushiol oil. And again, I get nothing from this company anymore. So I just, I help make it. So there's ego involved with it. But as far as any kickbacks or anything like that, nope, nothing. I'm just talking about things that actually work. So the Technu, the first step ivy treatment, that is chemically designed to remove the urushiol oil. And then the Workman's Friend was designed for mechanics grease and other nasty oily stuff, to get that off, to dissolve the oils and absorb the toxins with the, so it has the activated charcoal for absorbing the toxins. It has special detergents designed specifically for removing oils. And then it has the pumice in it too, to help scrape and scrape it away there. So when I was making this, I definitely had poison ivy in my mind, but I did not test it on poison ivy, because apparently that's illegal to, rub poison ivy on people and then see, here, wash your hands and let's see what happens. So it has not been tested on poison ivy, but from a theoretical chemistry point of view, this should be good stuff. So I put the link up there for that. But yeah, the Technu, first choice. If you know you're going to be exposed to poison ivy, you really should have the Technu stuff on hand. You have, depending on your skin and how dried, crack, and things like that, you probably have up to 7 hours to remove it. But the sooner you get it off, the better. If you can get it off in 4 hours, you're probably going to be okay, especially if you don't have any cracked, dry skin, anything like that. Oh, and let's see. Okay, let me know if the link to the Technu First Step Poison Ivy and Workman Friend Superior Hand Cleaner showed up, because according to StreamYard, it did not. So I'm going to try one more time. I don't know if it just doesn't like me putting up link. Okay, it seemed to work this time. So there's some Amazon links to the Technu stuff and the Workman's Friend cleaning stuff. Worst comes to worst, you can use some of the other motor oil, mechanic grease removing detergents. Like I said, the Gojo, the Fast Orange, Dawn dishwashing detergent. There's a question, how good is that? It's, as far as the different common soaps that you're likely to maybe have in your household, Dawn is 50 to 60% effective. If you remember the old TV ad, commercial ads, Dawn gets grease out of your way, where they put a drop of water and some greasy oil and you see the oil spring to the sides. It doesn't really dissolve and remove the oil. It just kind of shoves it around some. So Dawn dishwashing detergent, even though it does grease, gets grease out of your way, not the best. Okay, Chris Martin, have you rust talks? Okay, I was wondering if anyone would bring this up. Fighting allergies, there's a lot of people claim that they will eat a little bit of the leaf, like when poison ivy first comes out. They'll take a little bit of the leaf and eat it, and the next day they'll take a little bit more and eat it more, and build up an immune response to their overactive immune response. It's kind of like the okay, so Paul, if he's still here, he used to get allergy shots where, you know, they gave him little tiny doses of cat dander and stuff like that to basically retrain the body to go, okay, you know what, maybe I don't have to freak out so badly about this. But those things go on forever and ever and ever. I mean, you, Paul, you were taking shots for years. So I can't recommend any of the, you know, rust tox or, you know, eating a little bit of the poison ivy. I don't think that will give you, maybe in the long run it will help, but I'm probably, I don't have enough data to really trust them. So, okay. Julie, no, not tonight. Maybe I'll do a whole thing on detergent later on, because I still got a whole bunch more to cover. So we'll skip the deeper chemistry in here. So that's how you remove it. You need something that dissolves that oil to lift it and get it away from your skin. So that's what you do. Now, let's say you failed in that, and now you have the allergic response. You're getting the big weepy blisters on your skin. You're oozing, you itch, you're miserable. You're in this huge immune reaction. So what do you do? Okay, first you got to treat the itch, because if you start itching and scratching, that oil is still there. And if you start breaking open those blisters, you're actually going to spread that oil to other places. So you want to minimize the itching, so you aren't physically using your fingernails to spread the urushiol to other parts of your body. So some sort of anti-itch cream. There's a ton out there. Calamine lotion is one of the traditional ones. But if you have a favorite anti-itch cream, you want to start applying that, because, like I said, as you itch, you can actually be spreading the issue. So you need something to stop the itching, just so you aren't scratching yourself. So calamine lotion, any number of anti-itch creams out there. I didn't even put up a link because everyone has their favorite. So that's one thing. But another thing, remember, this is an allergic reaction. So the anti-allergy medication, so Benadryl. And I actually decided to put a link here. So there's all sorts of forms of Benadryl that will help, you know, or any of the Benadryl-like anti-allergens. Yeah, Paul, I remember you building up the tolerance to lidocaine powder, and the, you know, good job. That's worthful. Worthful? That's useful. Okay. Sorry. Again, I knew someone was going to bring that up. Okay, there we go. That's saying it didn't work. Let's try this again. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. So yeah, Benadryl, the antihistamine style allergy relief medicine. That's going to help some, because, like I said, what you got going on is an allergic reaction. So you need to suppress your immune system, basically, to slow down and reduce that allergic reaction to give your body a chance to fight this thing. So, like I said, Benadryl, often the traditional way. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Sorry, something totally different. I'm seeing why there are these errors that the post didn't work. Yeah, posted twice. So that's what's going on. So it's due to the lag. I'm figuring this out as we go here, folks. There's a much greater lag with Facebook than there is with YouTube. And so for some reason, the post won't go out to YouTube, but it will go, or sorry, the post won't go out to Facebook, but it will go to YouTube. And I get a thing here from Facebook saying that the post didn't post. And so then I post it again and it goes to both. Okay. I need some water. Just a minute here. Galen Dovic, peach tea leaves on a rash. Okay, that's a cool thing. That actually perfect timing here, because that leads in the next thing. After you've treated the allergy, another thing you need to do is you need to dry those blisters. So you need some sort of astringent material, something that will start drying those blisters. And just tea leaves in general, the tannic acid in just general, just plain, Lipton's tea, those will help dry the blisters. So, pretend we have the blisters, you sprinkle tea. The peach tea leaves, the fact that the peach leaves are in there probably isn't doing anything. It's the tea leaves that are part of it that are doing the action. But works really well is aluminum sulfate and a calcium acetate mixture. Those of you who suffer from shingles may be familiar with these. The shingles where, again, it's another immune reaction. Your body's attacking cells, you're blistering. The doctors will often recommend some sort of aluminum sulfate, calcium acetate powder to put on there because those will help dry it up. And by drying it up, you reduce the irritation. So let's put another link here. So from Amazon, there are a number of different aluminum sulfate, calcium acetate things that you sprinkle on the blisters, and it basically stops them from weeping, which then helps the blisters dry up and reduces the itches, reduces the chance of them bursting and spreading that ureshell to other places. So this is a really good thing. This sort of, a medicated powder. I was looking at Bond's Gold medicated powder, but they have a little bit of aluminum sulfate, but really the best thing is the shingles blister cure, the aluminum sulfate and calcium acetate powders. And there's a number of different things like that on Amazon. Even they sell food grade aluminum sulfate, but it really helps if you have the calcium acetate in there to help dry the blisters so that if they burst, they're not spreading the poison all over. Now, if you want to go over to more of an herbal remedy, let me just put this up there. Tennessee, I mentioned that earlier. I will answer again, but it's an allergic reaction. It's like some people are allergic to milk, some people are not allergic to milk, some people are allergic to cats. The allergy or the reaction is an allergic reaction. Unfortunately, it's a reaction that you can develop over time. Okay, did that work? Okay, so some plants to treat poison ivy. The best one is jewelweed. There's basically a saying, wherever poison ivy is growing, jewelweed will be growing nearby. So you can use it to treat. There's some compounds in jewelweed that are really good at dissolving, lifting, and removing the urushiol oil off your skin. The problem with jewelweed is it's extremely rare to non-existent, really, down here in Texas. So those of you, Nancy up in Michigan, Paul up in Minnesota, jewelweed all over the place, you're fine. You're good to go. Down here in Texas, doesn't grow. I've brought seeds down to try and get growing here. Doesn't grow. It's too hot, too humid. Something, for whatever reason, here in Texas, where Foraging Texas is located, jewelweed is not available. So we do have curly dock, the Rumix crispus, and this really, I'm seeing there, yeah, there's weird stuff here. So let me do this. So we'll try that. So jewelweed, posted that, and then we'll separate curled dock. It seems, Nick, like there's a limit to how many characters I can post, maybe. So curled dock is found all over Texas, all over North America. In this case, you eat the leaves to help. There's some tannins in it, but there's some other things that help with the whole kind of suppressing the immune system. It's not so much an immune system suppressant as much as an immune system modulator. So if your immune system maybe isn't quite powerful enough, it will bump it up a little. If it's kind of overacting, it will tone it down a little. So eating the leaves of curled dock will help. 2060. Diatomaceous earth. Personally, I would not use diatomaceous earth because diatomaceous earth is basically ground glass with lots and lots and lots of little sharp edges, which can actually irritate and rupture and otherwise damage the skin and break open the blisters and cause it to move everything around. So I personally would not use diatomaceous earth on the blisters to try and dry them. Okay, so curled dock to help with the immune system. Turmeric, put that up there too. Another great plant for modulating your immune system. This one doesn't so much bump it up. It's more of an anti-inflammatory. And so in a way, you can almost call it an immunosuppressant. So turmeric actually does have some immune system suppressant properties. So keep that in mind, especially during cold and flu season. Maybe you want a fully functioning immune system. So turmeric is probably not the best thing to do. Same with ginger. Ginger is another one that it's anti-inflammatory, which is great. If you're, most inflammatory responses fall under the immune system response. So the ginger helps with that, but ginger again can be slightly immunosuppressant, something to keep in mind there. So use that. Use turmeric and ginger if you have a nice, strong, healthy immune system and just want to tone it down a little. It's good to go. But if you already have some issues with your immune system, you might have when you first developed the allergy to poison ivy, you might have had a really strong immune system. And so you had that allergy because your nice strong immune system was attacking, the invader. But now later on in life, your immune system may not be so good. So you might want to think about maybe with the turmeric and the ginger, maybe not the best choice. If you're generally healthy, strong, fine. But if you already have some compromised immune system, you probably want to stay away from turmeric and ginger. Okay, on the mushroom side, and hopefully this will work. Reishi mushrooms and cordyceps mushrooms. Those are both immune system modulators, where again, if your immune system is too low, it bumps it up. If your immune system is freaking out, it drops it down some. So, rawr, yes, that's my battle cry. Or at least when me and my buddy are in a bar fight, man, it's rawr. We're going to rawr all over you. So yeah, the reishi mushrooms and the cordyceps mushrooms, really, really good for keeping your immune system doing what it's supposed to do, and taming down aggressive attacks and bumping up attacks that aren't as aggressive. Okay, need some water. Wow, this hour flew by. So yeah, everything hopefully you wanted to know about poison ivy. Just a quick run through here. And ginger, any questions? We got a few minutes. Seriously, I gotta get this notification thing. Nick, tell me what you're talking about later, because it probably sounds like something I need to know too. Okay, Kyle Wright, violet leaves. Violet leaves have a mucilaginous material. So if you think aloe vera is something that will help with the skin itchy. Plantain is another that will help with the skin itchiness, and wild violets too, because they have compounds in them that basically work like aloe vera for moisturizing and helping soothe irritated skin. Camphophenique butogama, another good one. Links are working. Okay. What's her face? 612. Removal. Are you talking about removal of the oils? So I did talk about that, but basically you need some sort of oil removing soap. Something, like a mechanic soap, or, and I posted links, the Workman's Friend Superior Hand Cleaner. This was designed specifically for oily, greasy issues to remove them from your hands. It has the pumice to scrape it up. It has the activated charcoal that is good at absorbing the bad chemicals and getting them away. Okay. Eradication. Okay, so I got 2 minutes left to talk about how to get rid of poison ivy. And so I'm going to run the, okay, so great. Okay. One, goats. Goats will eat it, but then remember, goats will rub against it. And if you pet the goat or the goat rubs against you, you have a good chance of getting poison ivy from it. So goats probably aren't the best practical choice for everyone. Second, if you just kill the leaves, the root is still there underground and the root is still growing. So the traditional herbal, green, safe herbicide type stuff like vinegar or beer and salt water or Epsom salts mixed with Dawn dishwashing detergents, they may kill the leaves, but that poison ivy is going to come right back because it has this extensive root network that all these herbal things did not touch. The only herbicide that's really going to work are the glyphosate, the Roundup styles. But let me, before everyone freaks out, let me talk a bit about the proper way of using, Roundup to kill it. The thing that Roundup does, the special power that the Roundup has, is it penetrates through the leaf, gets into the vascular system of the plant, travels down into the roots, and kills the roots. It's really the only herbicide that can actually kill the roots, and that's what you need to do with poison ivy. So instead of just broadcast spraying it all over the place and contaminating the environment and breathing it and all this with the Roundup, you don't want to do that. What you need to do is find the main thick vines of the poison ivy, cut them off, and then with a dropper or a Q-tip dipped in the Roundup, paint that cut surface. So you are just, hand applying it with a Q-tip or something directly to the plant, where then it will go in. So yeah, what's your fit? So it's all in how you apply it. So if you just, cut the plant, apply it to the cut surface, and it can get into the vascular system and go down and kill the roots. It's not going to leave the poison ivy. It's not going to seep out of the poison ivy and kill other plants. So this is something that, it's going to take time consuming. So you got to cut the vine. This works best in like urban and suburban landscaping, where you only have like one or two vines, where you can cut it and dab the Roundup right directly on the cut surface and let it soak in. What I really recommend is like 3 or 4 days in a row, go out and dab some more on it, just to make sure you get enough in it to kill the roots. Okay, we're going a little over time, but that's okay. That's okay. The last thing, if you have a large area to kill, is what this is hard to say, soil solarization. Soil solarization, where basically you use the heat of the sun to sterilize and kill the roots. So you need to cut the above ground part off. This is where you want your workman's friend and your hazmat suit, but cut the vines, and then you soak the land with water, get it nice and wet, and then you put thick, clear plastic over the top, big sheets of it over the top, hold it down with rocks and boards. You want to kind of seal the edges of this plastic down, and then just let it sit there for months. So what happens is you've made a little greenhouse right on the surface of the soil. The sun goes down, heats it up, that heat gets trapped, and it basically sterilizes the soil there. Downside, along with killing the roots of the poison ivy, you're killing, beneficial bacteria, you're killing other seeds there, excuse me. So it's really in a place where you just need to, drop it down to bare earth, because that's what you're going to end up with. But at least you killed the roots. Sometimes you have to kill a forest to save a forest. Ugh. But the soil solarization, clear plastic sealed down over it, let the sun just bake the soil. Okay, there was a question there. Last man, does poison ivy have a season? No. The vines are always going to have that oil in it. So even in the middle of winter, when the vine looks dead, if you start playing with that vine, there's a good chance you're going to get the poison ivy. Okay. Yeah, the person asking about 5 leaves, definitely Virginia creeper. Way back at the beginning under the identification part of this, it was there. Note, this whole video will remain on Facebook and on YouTube after we end. So if you didn't see the whole thing, you can go back to the very beginning and check it out. Okay, yeah, heavy bricks that are windproof, 2x4, even bigger than 2x4s. Okay, that's poison ivy. How to identify it, the chemistry behind it, how to prevent it from getting into you and reacting with it. If you failed in that, how to, and how to remove it from your skin, how to treat it once you start developing it, if you failed in the earlier parts of it, and then how to get rid of it. So, like I said, yeah, you can go back to the beginning of the show after we sign off here, and it's all going to be there. Again, a super big shout out to Wazoo Survival. Yay, Wazoo! Nick, put a link up quick. Actually, let me put my link up, because if people go there from my link, then I get money. So let me put that. So yes, I want to thank Wazoo Survival for paying for the SteamYard account, so I can have hopefully better luck broadcasting to you all. And like I said, I'm doing dual stream on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So definitely check out Wazoo Survival if you're an outdoors person or a person that travels once traveling is allowed again. They have the gear to get you home again. So definitely check them out. And of course, shout out to all my other sponsors, Uncommon Bees, Campcraft Outdoors, Fear and Dread, Herbs, all those guys. I'll post those links later. All right. Wow. Long show. Next week, I don't know what's happening next week. Chris Hamblin, if you're here. Yeah, I saw you, Chris. I know you showed up. I know you're here somewhere. Oh, yeah, there he is. Chris Hamblin. I'm going to have him on sometime soon. He is a helicopter pilot, but along with his work as a helicopter pilot, he is over in Africa working to save elephants. So I want to bring him on and talk about elephants and saving elephants and what he does, because I think that would be cool and interesting. Okay, at this point, got to turn it off. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you, tribe. I love doing this. I love teaching you, and you all are so good at feeding my ego by actually showing up and hanging out with me for an hour. Okay, but I gotta go. So again, see you tomorrow at the donut shop at the beginning of the world. Same place, 7:30 in the morning to 8 a.m. See you then. All right, bye-bye.